Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's JPR, and let's not waste any time because I'm sure that many people who didn't see my video where I very openly praised Legends Arceus and said it was great probably clicked on this video with torches and pitchforks in their hands. So let me talk the angry mob down real quick. I still think the game is fantastic. I'm not that wishy-washy. My opinion didn't do a total 180 in only 2 weeks. But as I said in that video, the game does have a few shortcomings that I'd like to talk about a little more. Also, let's just face facts, the average YouTube user is looking for more critical videos than videos praising the game. I know I'm right, you know I'm right, let's not even pretend that that isn't the reason you clicked on this video. Now, I already covered some stuff like the graphics and the slow beginning, among other things in that video, so I will not be repeating those points here. If you want my full thoughts, check out that video first, then come back to this one. But before we jump into it, once again, allow me to remind you that the vast majority of people watching are not subscribed. I called out all of the Jacobs last week, and it seemed to work. Thank you to all the Jacobs who subscribed. So this week, I'm calling out every person named Ethan. If your name is Ethan and you're not subscribed after this call out, I'm coming to your house and I'm swallowing your copy of Legends Arceus. And you're paying for the ambulance ride, so I hope you don't live in America. But even if your name's not Ethan, just subscribe. I know it's annoying to be reminded all the time, so just do it. While I got you here though, let's hear from the sponsor of today's video, Manscaped, the leader in men's grooming and hygiene products. Feeling your best starts with looking your best, which is why my friends at Manscaped are hooking you up with all the right tools from their Performance Package 4.0. Of course, one of their finest products, the Lawnmower 4.0, is included, great for beard trimming and for reducing cuts in the most sensitive parts of your body. It's cordless, it's waterproof, and it even comes with this neat LED light so you know exactly what you're doing. It also has a travel lock feature. Just click the button 3 times to engage or disengage the lock. Did I mention it comes with a really cool wireless charging dock and you get up to 90 minutes of use from a full charge? It also includes the Crop Preserver deodorant and Crop Reviver spray for all-day body odor protection. But we're not done yet, we also have the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer included. If you're like me and you have a lot of anxiety about shoving things up your nose, let me ease your worries. This thing has awesome skin-safe technology to prevent any cuts or tugging. If you enroll in Manscaped's Peak Hygiene Plan, you will even get ongoing replenishments of your favorite products delivered easily to your front door. For a limited time, when you buy the Performance Package 4.0, you also get 2 free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag and the Manscaped Anti-Chafing Boxer Briefs. So what are you waiting for? Head to manscaped.com and get 20% off, free international shipping, and these 2 free gifts when you use the promo code JPR. Thank you, Manscaped. Back to the video. So first things first, I'm throwing it back to a video where I talked about the Sinjo ruins a few months ago. I honestly don't remember what video that was, but I do remember that I wanted to finally learn more about the Unknown and their connection to Arceus. The Unknown just feel like his paparazzi. They follow him around and just hope for a drop of his clout to fall their way, but it never does because this Pokemon is garbage. They always hype up Unknown so much whenever they appear, and then you're led down this long rabbit hole of mysteries, and at the end, you're not even sure what the mystery was. I thought if there's one game where the Unknown will finally give us any substantial information about them, it would be this game. But nope, it's just another in a long line of horrible Unknown scavenger hunts that have been plaguing Pokemon games for more than 20 years now. Your grand reward at the end is just, oh boy, now you get to catch even more Unknown at the ruins whenever you want. I'm so excited! Also, it feels like 9 out of every 10 times you go far off the beaten path and feel like you're exploring some super secret area, your reward ends up just being another Unknown, and not something that's actually rewarding. Whenever Unknown shows up in any game, my expectations for the content I'm getting are already 6 feet underground, and somehow I am still let down every time by how lame they are. Kinda piggybacking off that point, I mentioned in my first Legends Arceus video how I was a little let down by the story, and by that, I mostly meant that I feel like the story wasn't set far enough in the past. At this point in Sinnoh's history, most of the really cool myths that we already knew of had already happened. And so what we end up getting is basically a modified version of Diamond and Pearl's plot with Dialga and Palkia and the Red Chain and Spear Pillar. It felt very been there, done that. It was still incredibly cool, don't get me wrong, I think the story is actually told far better here than it was in Diamond and Pearl, but still, I wanted to experience some more of those old Sinnoh myths firsthand. Now I'm just left wondering why nobody in modern day Sinnoh seems to remember that time that a giant hole opened up over Mount Coronet, despite that that being more recent than the other stories. But maybe that branches into an alternate universe theory that I'm not prepared to answer, so I'll stop myself from going any further. But yeah, stuff like the banishment of Giratina, mankind's first contact with the Lake Trio, Regigigas creating the other Regis, I feel like we could have seen so much more, rather than it feeling more like a grand retelling of Diamond and Pearl. My third disappointment is in regard to how they handled evolution materials. Now, I will say introducing the link cable item as a replacement item for trade evolutions is fantastic. Please keep that in future games. But really, I just don't like how you go about obtaining these items. You either have to rely on really low Ursa Luna dig-up rates, wait for a space-time distortion to appear, or go find dozens of satchels to exchange for items, which is probably the easiest of the three. But the downside to that is, even the satchels seem to have a limit, like you can only get so many in a period of time. I'm not even fully sure how they work, because sometimes my Switch friends will DM me and they'll be like, hey, I see your satchel on the map and I'm gonna go get it, but other times my Switch friends will be like, nope, it's not there. So to be honest, even I'm not fully sure of how the whole process works. On one hand, I like that satchels are the main way of getting these valuable evolution items because it encourages you to do the right thing. You get a reward for helping out your fellow man. Just like how you can help out your fellow man by leaving a like on this video. But at the same time, for later in the game when you're just burnt out on finding things, I wish they'd have an expensive crafting recipe where you can just make the evolution stones, like fire, moon, dusk, all of those. I mean, they already have a star piece recipe that lets you basically craft free money, so what if it was like 1 star piece plus a blue shard and gives you a water stone? I feel like that's not too much to ask for. I doubt this would completely kill off satchel hunting. Like, if I see a satchel, I'm at least gonna go try to return it, unless I get distracted by literally anything else. To clarify, I am not dissing the satchel and merit point system. I think it's fantastic that you can play with a Glaceon or a Caesar on your team incredibly early in the game. The less restrictions in the beginning, the better. I just wish that there were more efficient methods for getting these items later in the game. I just feel like at that point I should be able to make the items at will. Also, kind of an extension of this point, I wish that at the farm you could choose specifically which berries or mints that you like to grow instead of it just being a random assortment that you get. That irks me a little bit, like the full potential of the farm is already locked behind a few quests and pouring quite a bit of money into the harvest, so I think you should just know what you're getting at that point. My fourth disappointment is just some general navigation and control stuff that I feel like would make the game more simple to play. First of all, I don't like how you have to report your Pokedex findings and return to Jubilife Village every time you want to change the area you're in. I wish you could just hop from area to area at the base camps they have set up in the wild. I know I'm only losing like 20 seconds of my life by having to return to the village, but hey, those 20 seconds add up fast, especially in the post-game where I'm just moving around trying to fill in the missing Pokemon from my decks, or hunting outbreaks, or side quests, or whatever I'm doing. As for the controls, there are just some weird decisions, like I'm still not used to up on the D-pad of all things being the main menu, while X is to switch from items to Pokeballs. I feel like those two things should be reversed. X has been the menu button in every Pokemon game since the original Diamond and Pearl. I feel like my muscle memory has become corrupted. Also, the B button is stealth mode, but pressing down on the control stick is sprint. I really hate to bring up Breath of the Wild again, it's a pet peeve of mine. I know it's not the only open world game ever made, but again, it's just messing with muscle memory because in that game, B is sprint and the control stick is sneak, which makes way more sense to me. Even if you've never played Breath of the Wild, press B to run has almost always been a staple in Pokemon games, including this one if you're riding on most of the ride Pokemon, B makes them go faster. I almost feel like they purposely switched the controls in an effort to make it feel less like Breath of the Wild, but in doing so it conflicts with the controls in their own game. No joke, I've seen several people online say that they didn't even know that this game had a run button until after they beat the main story. That to me says that there's a problem and it's not just me. Also, if I'm trying to do something like a quick switch while dashing on a ride Pokemon, I have to play with a claw grip on the controller like I'm a sweaty melee player. I think the control layout is just really awkward at times, and that probably gets me killed more than anything else. Yes, you do get used to it over time, but it's still something that I hope they revise if they do another Legends game. It just feels like the whole user experience isn't quite where it needs to be, not to be confused with user interface, those are related terms but not quite the same thing. The actual visual design and layout of the menus looks great in my book, it's just not as seamless as I'd like it to be. And my fifth and final complaint is just the lack of stuff to do once the post-game story is completed. And yes, I want to differentiate post-game story from the rest of the post-game, because the post-game story material is fantastic, 10 out of 10 easily. But once that's all done with, specifically after you encounter Arceus, spoilers by the way, Arceus is in the game in case you couldn't read the box, really the only thing left is shiny hunting. And I don't have anything against shiny hunting. Who doesn't like finding a good shiny? It's just that normally on top of shiny hunting, you also have breeding and a battle facility and the ability to battle other people. I know this battle system isn't perfect and PvP would probably need some adjustments for it to work, but still there could have been something. It's just that once you've caught every Pokemon like you're supposed to do, it just feels kind of barren. It's shiny hunting, or there's just no reason to play the game anymore. Which is why I personally hope that we'll get some DLC down the line. I absolutely love this world that they have created, and I want to spend way more time than just 30 to 40 hours in it. I crave more. But hey, let me know down below, were there other aspects of this game that you were disappointed with? We can all be honest here, it's okay to think the game is great, but acknowledge where it needs to improve. We don't need to be out here flaming each other. But while you're down there, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys next time.